Well, International Youth Day 2025 is globally commemorated every 12th of August, celebrating the role of young people in driving inclusive, sustainable change. The theme for this year, Local Youth Actions for the SDGs and Beyond, emphasizes the impact of grassroots youth initiatives in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and tackling global challenges like climate change, social justice, and technological innovation. The United Nations officially designated August 12 as International Youth Day in 1999, providing a platform for youth voices to address critical issues such as unemployment, education, mental health, and inequality. Celebrations include leadership conferences, workshops, cultural events, and environmental drives, while social media amplifies youth-led campaigns. Well, as Nigeria warms up to join the rest of the world in the commemoration of this year's International Youth Day, CEO, Aspire Coronation Trust Foundation, Osayi Alile, and Country Director, Enactus Nigeria, that's Michael Ajayi, join us now to discuss the day and why it's significant for young people across Africa. Good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us here on Newsday.
Good afternoon.
Even though we're talking about the youth, right? And I don't know, are we all? Can
No,
we say
we're
we're...
not.
No, I am. As a representative of the youth, I speak of myself. Let's start with the lady, of course. Why is International Youth Day particularly significant for young people across Africa?
It's most important. I mean, most times what we start off with is the numbers. I mean, we know over 60% of our population across Africa are below the age of 25. And I mean, the world is changing so fast and it's becoming very dynamic. And we do need to emphasize the need for having young people to be at the table, not only to change and see the way things are done, but to co-create the issues and the solutions that we're bringing about across not only Nigeria, across Africa. And so it's important, it's really important. And we're not asking for us to celebrate just Youth Day, but youth leadership as well. Because youth leadership is essential. As we said here now, none of us here are below the age of 25. What we are enablers of the fact that we want to push them, we want to propagate the gospel of the fact that young people must have a voice. They must have a voice, and we can't speak on their behalf all the time.
Absolutely. Your take?
Absolutely. So the International Youth Day was set up by the United Nations to help create awareness around the issues, peculiar issues that young people are faced with, but also to highlight their ingenuity, their innovation, and the positive impacts that they have in society through their creativity and all of that. Now, as we look at a nation like ours, where there seems to be a scarcity of role models, if you like, it's important for us to celebrate this day because it provides us the opportunity to identify young people that are doing great work, that can become role models, not only to identify them, but to celebrate them, and I dare say, honor them. And in doing that, we inspire other generations of young people to look forward to them, to want to become like them, to want to be better and do better for themselves and for the nation.
All right, this year's theme focuses on local youth action for the SDGs and beyond. Your foundation works with youth across Africa. What have you observed about the role of African youth in leading change at the grassroots? Let's talk to you, Michael Ajayi, about this.
In my work with young people, I've observed that if given the right opportunities and supports, the Nigerian youth can change the world, literally. We've seen them at work in communities, local communities where you and I will not go into. And they have access to local intelligence. And based off of that local intelligence, they're able to identify real problems, not only the problems, but also those factors, those nuances, those cultural nuances, traditional nuances that either created the problems or facilitates or enable the problem. And so that their solutions so those problems are very holistic and more sustainable because they are not only addressing the problems, but they're also addressing those causative factors that created the problems, as it were. So young Nigerians, if given the opportunities and the right motivation and support, will transform the world.
Okay, fantastic. We're still on you, but how is your foundation supporting young people to transform global SDG goals into tangible local solutions?
So the work we do with Enactor students across the country challenges them, right? We set them up and challenge them to find problems in their local communities, and we provide all the necessary support that they require to be able to thrive in that. And so in doing that, they create opportunities, wealth, they create wealth for people, create job opportunities. A typical example of one of those things that inspire me even today is in 2016, one of the Enactors team, a group of Enactors students from one of the northern schools, actually Kaduna Polytechnic, went all the way to Borno State when Boko Haram hit, right? And they went into the IDP camp to provide makeshift education for children that could no longer access education because of the impact of those people. Now, fast forward till today, they brought them, not only did they teach them there, but they brought them out of that community and brought them to Kaduna State, where they now gave them scholarships to schools. Today, just a few years later, 3 of the 11 people that we moved to Kaduna State are now in the universities studying. Now, that is a classic example of young people taking responsibility in their local communities to solve problems. And that is the kind of impact you see.
All right, Osayi. So talk to me about what unique value do young people bring to their community and community development and problem solving that is often overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, I think Michael has touched a bit about the unique values, the fact that they understand the issues that they are also facing as young people. I mean, sometimes we look at this thing from down up, but the people in the community, the young people themselves are saying, okay, what else can we do? How can we do it different? Because they are there. And that's why I keep on saying that we must co-create with them, we must bring them to the table. Because the solutions that we might be able to envisage might not be the solutions that they require. And they do have the wherewithal to do these things. So for us, what we do is to support and enable organizations that are working with the young people and say, okay, what do you require? What do you need? How can we help? And once you add the bridge, then it makes it easier. And then the numbers as well. When you're looking at the number of young people across board, I mean, they have, the numbers are I mean, it's unprecedented. You're talking about 60% of our population, and it's going to increase in the next 10 to 20 years. And then you're asking, what solutions can we bring? And they come up with the solutions. They implement the programs themselves, and they are the ones that come and tell you that what do we need to do and do more of. So I feel that there's no measurement to these things. I mean, in terms of, you can't say we want to do things on our own without them. And we must enable, we must help. And not only in terms of, a lot of times people think, when young people are asking, they're asking for money. It's not always money. Yeah. A lot of non-financial resources are out there, mentoring them, making sure that the ecosystem works for them. The policies are in place also that will enable them to do better and to do more. And that's why Enactors programs work, and they've done it now for 25 years across Nigeria, and it's gone and it's done extremely well.
Fantastic. I like the fact that you say it goes beyond the money.
Yeah.
Which is
Money
crucial.
is important though, but...
Oh, yes. Well, more than that. To you, Michael, what investment gaps still exist when it comes to funding African youth leadership and innovation, and how can development partners help to bridge these gaps?
I think that the investment gap is wide, very wide, and there's so much opportunities. But what needs to be done really is about creating the opportunities that ensures that Nigerian youth, irrespective of the field they belong to, whether in science, in technology, in engineering, whether in arts, whether in entrepreneurship and innovation and whatever, even in politics, in leadership and governance, irrespective of whichever of these fields they belong to, that they are able to thrive in whatever field they have decided. And so the government, the private sector, and the development sector need to come together in these multi-sectoral partnerships to find creative ways to deliver on this. Because for me, really, the youth, is the lifeline of any nation. If as a country we want to remain relevant in the next 20, 50 years, and in the global economies, then we must make deliberate efforts today to invest in young people across the country. And it starts with multi-sectoral partnerships. Now, how we achieve that, I may not have the answer to that at this point, but I believe that whatever we do, we must create those enabling environments for young people, irrespective of their fields, to thrive and succeed.
Well said, Osayi. You want to add to that, multi-sectoral partnerships?
It's essential. That's why we support actors, because nobody can do it on their own. Government can't, private sector can't. We also in the non-profit, we will not be. We have the implementers like actors. So it is essential. And once all hands are on deck, then it makes our push even further than we've done over the years. But another thing also is the fact that we must understand what the issues are. And in understanding the issues, that's when solutions come in place. And not only solutions, I always tell people that impact solutions that can create impact. And if you sit in your office with the AC on and you're enjoying yourself, the solutions that come up to play are not what the community and the young people are looking for. So you must go to the field. You must understand what the communities want, what the young people want, in schools and out of school as well, because a lot of times solutions we're coming up with are for people in the universities or in schools. But there are so many facets of these things. It's just not one size fits all. And we must realize that, and we must say, okay, what else can we do, and how can we do things better?
All right, Osayi, talk to me. In many African societies, youths are often seen but not heard. How is your organization changing this particular narrative and positioning young people as community leaders and long-term change agents?
I like the way you just said I feel that we've done the work, and we have always put young people at the threshold of every decision and whatever we do. And that's why we won't come here and say, okay, we're supporting without even giving you the numbers and the statistics that are there, that it does work. But another thing, we have so many programs. We also have another program that we call the Changemakers Innovation Challenge. And especially this year, these are for young people between the ages of 18 and 25. And we want them to come up with solutions in their communities, innovative solutions by themselves in their communities, and we fund those solutions. And we've done it over the last 8 years because we feel to ourselves that innovation is key, and it's something that is also implementable in other communities. So once you do it and you've done it well, somebody else can replicate. Replication is always very important. And so that's, for us, is one of the things we have. Apart from Enactors, we have quite a few other organizations across Nigeria and even Africa that we've worked with. So we work with about 125 non-profits across Nigeria and Africa, and at least 60% of those people are working with young people because we want to be the bridge, we want to come up with solutions, but we also want to come up with impactful solutions as well.
Fantastic. We have about 1 minute, 30 seconds, but Michael, many youth face structural barriers like poor infrastructure, limited digital access, and the likes. How does your organization equip them to overcome these realities and still lead change?
For us, we believe that the biggest barriers or challenges that anyone, particularly young people, will face is in their minds, right? And so our first job is to win the battle of the mind. By this, I mean change their mindsets and help them recognize the fact that if they can dream it, they can achieve it. And once we get them there, then we challenge them, okay, to become change leaders in those communities. And so barriers do not stop them, okay, because they are enabled to look beyond that and recognize challenges really as an invitation to grow, right? So that's how we challenge them and work with them and guide them and train them and provide all the necessary requirements for them to be able to do what they do and to thrive at it.
I think we're actually out of time already.
Indeed.
I want to say thank you very much for joining us, Osayi Alile and Michael Ajayi, on
Thank
this
you very much for
auspicious
having
day.
us.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.